miles to Chicago. We got a full tank of gas, half a pack of cigarettes. It's dark, and we're wearing sunglasses. Hit it.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome to another Long Island Blues Warehouse right here at EKO Studios, the world-renowned headquarters and the official studio, as always, of the Long Island Blues Warehouse. Welcome. Good to have you with us. Once a week on this stage, we bring you Long Island's finest. New York City once in a while for good measure. Connecticut, Jersey. I'd say about 80% of what we're doing is Long Island based. No exception tonight. Tonight we bring you a group of musicians, exceptional veteran musicians, if you will. When I say veteran musicians, these guys have been playing together for over 20 years, with the exception of TAMMI, of course, who about 6 years, the baby of the band, I'm going to say. And we're glad to have her with us with this amazing ensemble of musicians. Please welcome this week's featured artist, Pete Mazzeo and the Hit Squad.
Sun to shine, she's my sweet little thing. Oh, she my pride and joy. She my baby, I'm her big up boy, yeah. But I love my baby with a heart and soul. We've got love, never getting old, no, not a sweet little thing. My pride and joy. Sugar, I'm hot in the boy, yeah. But I love that girl, she's rockin' lean, yeah. That's with her, you know, my sweet little thing. She my pride and joy. She my baby, I'm hot in the boy. She my baby, I'm hot little love boy, yeah. I love my baby with a heart and soul. We've got love, never love my sweet little thing. She my pride and joy. She my sugar, I'm hot little love boy. LAZOS on the kick. Flyntz on bass. Flyntz on the
Oh, yeah. This week's featured artist, Pete Mazzeo and the Hit Squad. Well done, people. That's what we call coming out of the gate strong, I must begin by saying. Let me, first of all, welcome to the stage Tammy Wolf. Nice to see you, Tammy.
Nice to see you.
I'm sorry you weren't a part of the first tune.
I enjoyed listening from the side.
It was great to watch these guys from the side do what they do. Got a few degrees hotter in here, didn't it?
A little bit.
I'd say so. Let me grab, let me see. Let's start with Pete Mazzeo if we can. Pete,
Yes,
welcome to the show, my man.
thank you.
Let's talk about some history with you.
Sure.
First of all, this band, Pete Mazzeo and the Hit Squad, has been playing for over 20 years.
Right.
When did you begin musically? How old were you? When did you know this was something?
I started late. I started like I was about 19, 20 years old. When I was a little kid, I played the clarinet and all those things that weren't cool and you couldn't carry in your back pocket.
You did stuff like that in school and what have you?
Put a clarinet in your pocket. You can't walk very well, so
I
just
suppose.
got out of that.
I suppose not.
It's amazing how much you look like Alex Trebek standing there. You know, just
So, did you pick up a guitar for the first time at age 19?
yes.
I don't want to touch that. I really don't. We could, but it's only an hour.
Nah. Yeah, I started playing guitar and all that stuff late, as a lot of people can tell you.
What was the influence? What made you decide you wanted to go guitar and vocals?
I just, that's just what I gravitated to. I wanted to start to write a lot of music, which I've been doing. So I picked up a guitar. As soon as I could learn to play chords, I started writing original music. And that just, eventually evolved into getting into bands. A cousin of mine was in a band. And then a few years later, I came into the Huntington area. And that's where I met Pete and the other guys that were all playing with. Everybody in this band was playing, other than Tammy was playing with Ricky and the Roaches.
Sure,
and I was with
sure.
my band, Blue Eyed Soul. And through a bunch of other evolutions and stuff, we all wound up just migrating together, and now we've been together like this.
Help me out with that. Ricky
Yeah.
and the Roaches, your Blue Eyed Soul project,
Yeah.
2 different projects around the island.
Yeah, we were
How
playing-
did you cross paths and join?
We were playing at I
And
guess
fuse together.
You guys at Chelsea's, or you just at New York Avenue? Yeah, we were playing at Chelsea's with Blue Eyed Soul, and then that turned over to be New York Avenue.
Up 110 there in Huntington.
Correct, right in the middle of town. And then we were doing Thursday nights. You guys were doing what? Did you have a regular night? Yeah.
Every other Saturday night for a while.
Yeah. So
Every
we all,
other Saturday for a while.
Yeah, and then I had a drummer who was unable to make all the gigs, and I asked the guys who owned the place, could they help me? And they mentioned Pete. And then we just started to sort of mix and match, and people fell out of the band, both bands, and we just started to work together.
The
So
timing
we-
was just right.
Was right. Pete and I have been together for the longest, well over 25 years.
No
you know.
kidding.
I know we
No
don't look
kidding.
it, but it's the truth. Yeah.
Pete looks like he's 18.
I know.
The baby of the band, if I had to guess.
That's right.
That baby face over there.
And Mike, and I
Well,
was saying
Tammy as well. That goes without saying.
that veteran remark before, just saying that we're old. That's all that means.
That's a given as well, my
Yeah,
man.
thank
That's
you.
a given as well. You guys should be called Babyface. This bunch up here. You kidding me? Great way to come out of the gate, man. Great beginning for you. Let's put you guys back to work. Let's remind Long Island what this project's all about and the rest of the world, featuring some amazing vocals on this young lady, I understand.
Absolutely.
What are we doing next, Tammy?
Jesse, Hurt So Bad.
You good to go?
Version of that. I am good to go.
Very excited about this one. You feeling good there?
Yeah.
You warmed up nice?
I'm good.
It's not 9 o'clock in the morning like my other show.
For me, it is a little. What time is it for us now?
Okay, it's good. Sometimes it's good to fool your vocals, Donnie. Let's do it. Once again on the Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with the Hit Squad.
I miss the arms that used to hold me, the tender way we used to kiss. I miss the way that you touched me. I miss the sweet
Wow. This week's featured artist, featuring Tammy Wolf, lead vocals, Pete Mazzeo, and the Hit Squad. Tammy, my God, do I love what you're all about vocally. Come on up here, please. Get a nice sip of water. You need another one? Can I get you a gallon of water? Maybe.
Do I have to take pee breaks? Then no, I can't.
Tammy, I'll tell you what, Tammy. I'm so in love with what you do musically and the dynamic you add to this project. Let's talk about when you began. I know you've been with this project for 6 years. Please tell me you were doing something vocally with another music project before this band.
I was, but probably nothing like this.
Let's talk about when you began. Were you singing like...
I was born in a small... No. I started out with classical music.
You started classically?
I did.
Junior high, high school days? What?
Gosh, I first sang in 5th grade. My first was 5th grade.
Okay.
How old were you in 5th grade? 10th? 9, 10?
But
I probably didn't hit an aria until much later.
Okay.
I studied in high school and college. Yeah.
And what made you decide that was the direction you wanted to go, classical?
You know what?
Most kids at that age, they're doing school musicals, elementary school musicals.
I did that as well, but my vocal teachers really were heavy in training and theory, and it just seemed like a natural progression to study just to have that backbone.
Now, did you enjoy it at that age, or were you kind of pushed into it those early days?
My parents never pushed me. It was actually my way of coming out, because believe it or not, I was a very shy kid. I know.
Bit of an introvert, were you?
I was very introverted.
Having a little trouble with that.
Yeah, I didn't say a peep.
But
But
music allowed you to express yourself in a way that made you come out of that shell.
Yeah, and my mom, I remember in 5th grade, I said, I want to do a solo. She said, you know that means by yourself. And I was blissfully unaware that I should have been nervous. And it just was completely different. It was a different world for me.
I can certainly appreciate that. And the ability to express yourself musically and come out of that shell brings me into something else I want to talk about. As many of my viewers know at this point, every Friday after my live show at 90.1 FM here on Long Island, I make my way over to the pediatric floor at Stony Brook Children's Hospital here in Long Island, where I have this great music program going strong 4 years now, every week having different musicians come up to play for sick kids. You and Mike on guitar have been up there 4 or 5 times now. Yeah. Every 6 months you guys come up for the past few years. Yeah, and what does live music do to these kids? It creates that distraction, that brain stimulation, and it allows kids that are overwhelmed and dealing with some heavy illnesses to be able to express themselves through music, which is a very similar story to what you got going on, minus the health issues, of course. Same type of thing applies, and you guys are so well received when you guys come up and do that. Obviously, when you come up, you play easier going songs. You don't knock the kids' socks off the way you just did everybody here tonight.
We try to be a gentler, kinder version.
Which is so you're so well received when you come up there and play for those sick kids,
it's an honor
and
to
it's
do
great having you. You got involved in this project about 6 years now?
About six years ago.
How'd you get involved in these guys?
I started with these fellas minus Maz, doing wedding bands.
You were in the wedding project then for a while.
We did that. I was in a wedding band prior to that for 10 years after getting off the road of musical theater, so I kind of skipped an area there. I did a couple of Broadway tours for a few years, then got into the wedding club date scene, and then joined up with the Flyntz brothers and LAZOS, and then they introduced me and said we also do this other project with Mazzeo, and ta-da!
And the rest is history.
The
rest is history. ... Well, what a great direction that you headed into, and what a great dynamic you add to this project. My God, with what you just did, I think we're going to do another Tedeschi cover in a minute, by the way, which I'm excited about.
You like that one?
I say we do it right now. I think you did this at the hospital in the playroom last year.
A much quieter version.
An acoustic thing, which was
version.
extremely well received, and a lot of the parents, more than the kids, appreciated it. And I say we do it. You good to go?
I'm good to go.
Well, once again on the Blues Warehouse, let's keep it moving. This is Pete Mazzeo and the Hit Squad featuring the lovely Tammy Wolf.
You stay out all night till the break of day. Snap me up with everything I say. Little by little, though I'm losing you, I can see. And bit by bit, you way that I feel. I said, whoa, baby, that's the way that I feel. Let me hear you something like that.
Featuring Tammy Wolf, Pete Mazzeo, and the Hit Squad. Well done, kiddo. As always, thank you. Thank you very much. Let me grab on the bass, Tom Flyntz, if I can for a second. How you doing, Tom?
Doing great.
Welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you.
So, I've been checking out this band for, I don't know, I've seen this band 3 or 4 times live. Usually when it's at the Bulldog in Amityville, which is only 10 minutes from my house. Everywhere else you could play is an hour from me. So that's a good gig for me to go. My wife and I went last week. And who do I hear do a couple of tunes with some lead vocals? But you. And I had no idea. I had no idea that you sang lead vocals as well in a few of the tracks.
They forced me to do it.
And not too shabby, my man. Not too shabby.
Thank you.
Which raises the question, when can I get you, maybe with these guys or yourself, to, I don't know, come play for the kids at Stony Brook Hospital? We'll have to see if we can work that out, man.
Absolutely.
Let's talk about the history. Let's talk about when you began. How old were you when you picked one of these up?
Well, I was about 14 years old when I started playing bass, but when I was much younger, played the clarinet for about 1 month.
Did you have the
2
same?
months.
Did you have the same issue that Pete did?
I didn't like carrying it in my back pocket, so
pocket.
what I actually did was I switched to piano when I was about.
Did you play the keys?
Yeah, about 9, 10 years old. I asked for a piano. I started taking lessons from a guy down the block, but he was like 80 years old, so he had arthritis. He couldn't play, so I had no motivation, you know. So I started listening to the Beatles, heard Paul McCartney playing the bass. I said, that's what I want to do.
No kidding.
And Mike was already playing guitar, wanted to put a band together, and needed a bass player. So
Your brother, of course, on the guitar.
Sure. So I asked for one for Christmas when I was 14, got it, and have been playing it ever since.
Very cool, man. There's been no looking back.
That's it.
Did you take lessons from your brother? Who learned first how to play their instrument?
He was playing guitar first. So
were you guys horsing around together as kids with music?
Yeah, we started off just horsing around and pretty much teach. You know, I at least taught myself how to play because I knew a little bit of music from playing piano, and he played guitar, so I kind of just followed, you know, his lead. A little bit later, I took a little bit of bass lessons from some guys that were, you know, really professional guys. But that was after I had been playing for a few years already.
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
There's another project that's a long-term project that's been around on Long Island for, if I'm not mistaken, 36 or 37 years. Everybody on the stage is a part of it, yourself included. I'm talking about Mike Guido from the Stanton Anderson Band, who we had in here a couple of years ago, the founding member of the world's largest 70-plus piece rock band. They play once a year at Mulcahy's in Wantaw here on Long Island, called the Paper Bag.
Yes.
You're a part of that project.
Yeah, it's coming up soon.
It's coming up next month. How long have you been in that project? How long have you been a Paper Bagger?
About 23 years. I
You're in it
believe.
23 years yourself.
Yeah.
Do you have 26 years, or your brother does?
Is it 26?
Both of you
See?
26.
I don't even remember. 26.
What about you, Pete?
I started 18 years ago. And
18 years for you.
fell off the wagon.
You took a little hiatus?
More than a little. And I've been back on and off the wagon.
You've been back on and I've seen you for the past few years, of course, with Tammy. Tammy, how about you?
I guess 4 years.
It's been 4 years only? How about you, Pete? 22. You've been with the Paper Bag for 22 years? No kidding. Very cool. Very cool. Well, I'll tell you what, man, holding down the bottom end, great, Tom.
Thank you.
Tom Flyntz on the bass. I thank you so much.
Okay.
Let's keep it moving. Let's get into another one. We'll come back and talk to the fearless drummer next. What are we doing next, Pete Mazzeo?
Next, we're going to do a great tune by Gary Moore that Mike, one of his signature tunes. He does a wonderful job on it.
Still got the blues?
Yes, sir.
You guys good to go? Once again on the Long Island Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with the Hit Squad.
Used to be so easy to give my heart away. But I found out the hard way there's a price you've got to pay. Lord, I found out that love is not a friend of mine. You play to win, Lord, time after time. So long ago, I still got the blues for you. Used to be so easy, to give my heart away, but I found out the hard way. It's a price you've got to pay. Yeah. I found out that love was no friend of mine. I played to win one time after time. Ooh, Lord, so long ago, I still got the blues for you. It's been so many years, baby, since I've seen you, babe. Yeah. Here in my heart, there's an empty place where you used to be. So very long ago, still got the blues for you. Lonely days come, they go. Yeah. One thing I know, but I still got the blues.
trying to catch my breath. I'm trying to catch my breath. How you doing on that, Mike?
I want a do-over.
Yeah, no. It's not necessary. Why, did you find an error of some sort that nobody else caught?
Yeah, many.
Are you being anal-retentively overly critical on your own playing? Something musicians never do?
You have to be, yes.
Well done, my man. Well done. Mike Flyntz, lead
Thank you,
guitar.
Mark.
Mike, I'll tell you what, I've been a fan of what you're all about musically for probably over 20 years myself. And let's jump into the history. Let's talk about when you began, if we can. Let's talk about the first time you ever picked up one of those. In the womb, coming out of the womb, if I had to guess?
No, I was...
Were you a little guy?
I was checking out my dad playing guitar.
Your dad plays?
Very badly, yeah. He was a great sportsman. He's a triathlon. He's great. He was taking acoustic guitar lessons, right? And he was taking... Was he going to the same guy you were, Tom?
I don't remember.
He was going down the block.
Who's older, you or Tom? Who's the older brother?
I'm 11 months older.
11 months older. Okay.
I'm January.
Okay, so you're the big brother.
He's December, same year.
Do you guys have other siblings?
We have a younger sister, Linda, yes.
Does she play an instrument?
No, she doesn't, no.
Really? Okay, I had to ask. It was a fair
I
question.
think she played drums for a little bit, but...
When you guys were little?
Yeah.
She played the clarinet too.
Well, everybody plays a clarinet.
How old were you when you started with the passion with that instrument?
I wasn't that young. Actually, Tom was playing piano. He said 10, but he was actually 8 years old when he started with the lessons. And I picked up the guitar about 10 years old. My father had like an acoustic guitar, a harmony guitar, and he was in the Alfred's method book or whatever method book. And
Okay.
he showed me a few notes, and I picked it up really quick and got right through the book. So I was just drawn to it right away.
So are you self-taught?
Other than that book,
Other than that book?
yeah, and then I figured out the old. And from there, we went crazy.
When did scales come in? Do 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 do.
They came pretty quick. Yeah, pentatonic scales.
And were you firing up and down the neck like rapid fire at an early age?
Yeah, I was kind of nuts. I learned the first pentatonic scale, and I figured out if I, map out across the guitar, I could figure out all the other shapes.
Okay.
Now that's standard when you take
You
lessons
figured
now.
that out on your own.
Yeah, I just took that and learned all the shapes around the neck, and yeah, I taught it to myself, and now I teach it to all my students. And I mean, it's well known now, but back then, if you took guitar lessons, you were playing Yankee Doodle or something like that. You weren't learning the full.
You have a guitar shop where you give lessons in Copeg here on Long Island.
Yes.
How long's that shop been around? How long have you been giving lessons? How long have you been
I
teaching?
moved into the present location 21 years ago,
21 years you're there now.
and I taught there 8 years prior. So I've been their guitar masters now for 29 years.
Guitar Masters. Very cool, man. Very
Yeah.
cool. In Copeg. If people, is there a website?
Yes.
What's the site if people want to track you down? And
GuitarMastersNY.com. So
GuitarMastersNY.com.
Yep.
Very cool, man. Very cool. Let's talk about, you did Ricky and the Roaches, which was a popular band in around the mid-'80s time frame. What were you doing musically before Ricky and the Roaches?
Well, we started with Ricky. Me and Tom were 14. We got him in the band, and we started playing gigs at 14.
So that was pretty much your first.
Yeah, 1979, we did our first block party, and then we did a couple of Sunday gigs at bars that had no alcohol. A place called Bugsy Malone's. You can look that one up.
What town was that?
That was in Sayville.
Sayville, okay.
1980 we played there.
No kidding.
At the time we were 15, 14.
Okay.
And started playing, bars, and then my father would have to take us to bars. It was Ricky and the Roaches, but it was called Evolution back then. It's before we decided to stop doing originals, and we could make a lot of money doing cover music. So that's where Ricky and the Roaches came from. And
That's
when
where that
we
started
joined
from.
Pete when we were about, he was 16 and we were 18.
Very cool, man. Very
Yeah.
cool. There's another project that was pretty well known overseas, much more overseas than here in the U.S. Although you've got some notoriety here, worldwide success with this project. I'm talking about a heavier project. Is it classified as metal? It's a metal band, right?
Yeah, heavy metal band.
The Riot Project.
Hard rock started and
Hard rock,
evolved.
metal.
Yeah, sure.
When did that project start? When did that project? Where'd that project come from? Where'd that originate from?
That came out of Brooklyn, 1975, 76. A band, they started the band called Riot, and they got signed in 77. Put out a record and had 2 big records in Japan, and you could only get it as imports. And by the third record, so much. They were getting so much attention. They got invited on the Monsters of Rock with Rainbow and the Scorpions, and they played that in '80. And then all the Capitol Records, all the big record companies came in, and they were bidding for them. And by the third record, they had a record called Fire Down Under in 1980, which just blew up, and all the major bands like Metallica, Megadeth, they all worshiped that album. And the last cover of the Metallica record, Lars, the drummer, is wearing a Riot Fire Down Under shirt. It influenced many, many people.
Yeah.
And never really got big in the States, so only true metalheads know that record.
You just got back from Germany, doing some dates.
Yep, we're called Riot 5 now because our founder, my good friend Mark Raley, passed away 3 years ago. And it's called Riot 5 because we have our fifth singer, the fifth lineup.
Gotcha.
So
Very
we're
cool.
carrying on the music, making new albums.
This guy with the band today is ridiculously amazing.
Yeah, I have a great band, great singer, great second guitar player.
He reminds me of, he's a Bruce Dickinson type, like a modern day Bruce Dickinson.
He's
if
a
I can
powerhouse,
say.
yeah.
Ridiculous, above and beyond. Amazing, outstanding. You just posted some videos on Facebook, which from Germany. You guys are going back to Sweden over the summer?
Yeah, we start in Greece in early June.
What's the name of that? What's the name of that show going to be? You're going to be with like Judas Priest and Motley
we're
Crue?
doing a couple of shows by ourselves in Sweden. In Sweden, we're playing with Motley Crue and Judas Priest and Def Leppard.
Yeah. What's the name of that concert?
The Sweden Rock Festival.
The Sweden Rock Festival.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Very cool, man. You are one of the most incredible talents Long Island has to offer in terms of guitar playing. And I've seen many.
Thank you.
We have a lot of mutual friends, you and I.
Sure.
Not to take away from any of those guys and their talents, but you are definitely an above and beyond. It's Scott Ross, the guy that out of the intro to the show.
One of my favorites. One of my favorite guitar players.
He
Scott
calls
Ross,
it the force. Either you're born with it or you're not. Yeah. You are so born with it. You are so born with it. You're just a ridiculously incredible talent. I'm so excited to see you be a part of so many of these other projects that you do on top of Pete Mazzeo and the Hit Squad, the Riot Project. You guys do a Bee Gees project.
Shoot, yeah.
I'm going to grab Pete in a second to. Don't do that again.
Shoot, yeah.
Please don't do that again.
One more time.
I just lost my whole train of thought, and it's never coming back either. Now we need to do a do-over. Can we do a do-over now? Mike, incredible, my man, incredible.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that.
I really, one final thing I want to talk about. Pete's done it. Pete was just there last week. You and Tammy come up twice a year to the pediatric floor at Stony Brook Children's Hospital. Be a part of this great music program of mine, playing for sick kids. Remember the first time you were up there a couple of years ago?
Sure do.
What an amazing, profound... You walk off that floor like, what problems do I have in life? Am I right?
What am I complaining about? I have nothing at all to complain about. I'm a very lucky man.
And you two are a massive contributors to that project as well, putting smiles on faces of sick kids that are in no mood to smile. Yeah. As I said, Pete Mazzeo was up there last week, and he kicked ass and took names. You guys do it a lot. I can't wait to get you guys in the book to come up and do it again. Sure. I can't wait to see more Riot videos because I can't go overseas to see you play because who has time to do that?
Right.
And I can't wait to see where your career goes next, my man. You're still very young in your career, and you've got a lot of amazing things ahead of you musically, and I can't wait to see where you go next. And God bless, my man. Keep going strong.
Appreciate it. Thank you,
Mike
Mark.
Flyntz on the guitar. Thank you, my man. Let's grab Pete real quick. How many songs we got left? One or two? We got two left? All right, let's get into the next song. Then we'll talk to Pete and do our goodbyes, and then you guys will play us out. What are we doing next, Tammy?
Oh, I'm going to keep talking. Should I say it slowly? Shaka Khan.
Are we doing a Shaka Khan song?
We are. We're going to switch it up a little.
What's the name of the piece?
Sweet Thing.
Sweet Thing?
Sweet Thing.
Is this something you guys do with the Hit Squad on a regular basis?
When the mood strikes us.
Talk to me while he's tuning up. Let's talk to me about this Bee Gees project. How
shoot, yeah, like that. No,
yeah, without mimicking Mike if we can. Right. Let's. I don't want to hear about clarinets anymore today, and I don't want to hear any more of the shoot yeah things if we can help it. How long's this Bee Gees thing been around? How long's this project been going? Pete, come on up there.
A little over a year.
Yeah, our anniversary was last week. I think
You guys played BB King's in New York City.
We play BB's and Resorts Casino and Empire Casino pretty regularly.
You guys have a video of the BB's tribute that you recorded here at EKO.
Yeah, all the guys here, Steve, Ralph, Judy.
EKO
they
Studios.
all helped us. They were a huge help because it gave us instant instant cachet because it came out so well, and B.B. King saw it and called us immediately, and that they've really been the force behind it.
It's another incredible project that you guys do, and
It's a little weird to walk around as Barry Gibb once a month, but you know.
but it works, man.
It works.
You
It's
make
fun.
it work.
And let me tell you, it was Mike said we have to do something different, and that's how it started. And we just started to think, and then it just evolved into something really cool. So we're going to be doing much more with it.
Look forward to seeing a lot more things you guys do, that project especially. Let's do it. Once again on the Blues Warehouse, we're going to keep it moving with the Hit Squad.
Oh, sweet thing, don't you know you're my everything? Oh, sweet thing, don't you know you're my everything? Child, my whole life long, being right or being wrong. Only what you make me, baby. Don't walk away, don't be so shady. Don't want your mind, don't want your money. These words I say, they may sound funny, but whoa, sweet thing, don't you know you're my everything? Whoa, sweet thing, don't you know you're my everything? Yes, you are. Yes, you are. You are my heat, you are my fire. You make me weak with strong desire to love you, child, my whole life long. Being right or being wrong, I just want to satisfy you. You're my mind and I can't deny it. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Love me now.
You're my heat, you're all my fire, you're all my mind.
I can't deny it. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Up and down, I go crazy. You're my heat, you're my fire, you're on my mind. I can't deny it. Don't you hear me talking, baby? Up and down, I go crazy.
You're all my can't deny it.
Don't you hear me talking, baby? Up and down, I go
Well done, kiddo. Thank you. As always, thank you. Tammy Wolf, lead vocals, and all around just a little cutie pie, if I may say. What was that? What was your line again? Your one-liner? What was Mike's one line that he said before?
I never said anything.
I
didn't say anything.
Oh, that's your story and you're sticking to it?
I'm gonna put that on my card.
I was going to say we should put it on T-shirts, starting with Mike. Let me grab Pete LAZOS on the kit if he'll pull that mic in front of him. How you doing, Pete?
This is a rarity right here. You see this happen?
What? Getting you to speak?
Yeah, and Mike by my face.
You speak volumes with what you do with that thing right there.
Oh, thank you.
Let's talk about when you began. When did you get behind the kit for the first time?
When I heard Peter Criss play, believe it or not, I'd like to say Steve Gadd and Vinnie Colaiuta and all these guys that I love today.
They came later.
I'd like to say that, but Peter Criss.
Peter Criss was first for you.
Kiss Alive changed.
That was the
my life.
influence.
So I played the drums on my bed and pots and pans and asked my parents for drums, and they bought me a guitar.
And there's been no looking back.
I never played
until
it.
last week
Yeah,
when
I
you
never,
finally got a
I
kit.
just never touched it. I couldn't do it, and they gave in, and they bought me this little Japanese drum set. And
Good story. Tell it again.
I haven't stopped.
So when did you start getting passionate with the kit? What age?
It just started immediately.
It did start
I
immediately.
just wouldn't stop until my mother would throw things at me. It was just, incessant playing and hitting things, and
Did you take lessons?
I took my first lesson in my 30s from a guy in the city named Nodar Road. And, he changed my life with 3 lessons. I reached a wall, and he took it. And
Say the guy's name again.
Nodar Road.
A jazz player?
He is predominantly a jazz player.
Sounds familiar.
But he put the swing in all my playing. He came to see me play, and he saw what was missing.
And he
loved
fine-tuned
the way
you.
I played, and he fine-tuned me in 3 lessons, and I'm still working on them. There's so much stuff, but he changed my life.
I'd say you've honed in on the craft pretty well at this
Thank
point,
you.
if I may
Thank you.
say. A mutual friend of ours I've had on this stage before a few times. You've worked with in the past. I think you've toured with overseas a little bit. Stevie Cochran.
Yeah, I did 2 with him.
You did 2 tours with him.
Yeah.
Europe?
Both. Yeah.
What part? Where about?
We were in Switzerland.
You guys
we were
did
in
Switzerland?
France, and Italy.
Very cool, man. Very cool.
Great player.
What were you doing before? Oh, you've been the longest. You're one of the longest members in this project, working with Mazzeo.
Well, I got into the band because I went to see Mike and Tom play, and I pulled a Keith Moon, and I told them, "You guys are great, but your drummer sucks." And they were, and I sat in with them. We did a bunch of Rush stuff. They said, "You're in," and that's 31 years ago.
31 years ago.
Yeah.
Were you doing anything before that project musically?
Yeah, not too much actually. What?
Like school stuff?
What's that? Oh yeah, well no. But no, I was bouncing around from band to band, and I saw Mike play, and he blew me away. And I played with a guy named Ron Stanley, who I still play with today in a band.
Say
called
the guy's name again?
Ron Stanley.
Okay.
I'm still in a band with him called Voodoo Biscuit. He's incredible.
That
And
project I've heard of.
Tom actually plays in that band.
Very cool. You guys play pretty actively around the island?
We probably do one a month, one every couple of months.
Very nice.
Because we're so busy, I'll
You
call
guys-
Pete. What do we got? Do we have a date somewhere? And he'll.
You guys are gigging like 3 times a week, like every single week.
Yeah.
Which is pretty cool, which is not an easy thing for Long Island musicians to do. That's
Yeah.
that's pretty much a rarity. So you guys are definitely blessed with being, I don't know if I call it full-time musicianship on the island, but it's as close as you're going to get with how hard it is to play on the island as much as you guys get to do, and it's really cool. But you guys are so well received. There's a big demand for what you guys do. You guys do shows at Westbury Music Fair?
Yes.
Hit me with that real quick. What is that all about? Something you guys open up for a comedy?
It's a comedy. It's a benefit. It's a. Yeah, music and comedy benefit.
Comedy benefit, and it's with Darcy Novick, and Darcy donates a portion of the proceeds to American Breast Cancer Society. She's a survivor, and she took her illness and turned it into something great. So we've been playing there. I think we're going into our 5th or 6th year.
It's really your 5th or 6th year at this point.
Oh yeah. It's been great.
Very
Really wonderful
cool.
thing.
Very cool. What's coming up next for this project? Any you guys do anything out of the New York area, Pete?
Yeah, we get out of the New York area to play, the Bee Gees stuff. We'll be going to Connecticut. Around the summertime, we'll be playing Tri-State, and then when the winter comes, we'll be going down to Florida doing the Bee Gees
Very
thing.
cool. Very
So
cool.
that's good, yeah.
Are you doing anything else now, Pete, other than the Bee Gees thing and this project and the other thing you
Just
mentioned?
just those things and some studio stuff.
Some studio session work as well.
Yeah, for Dennis Phelps.
No drum clinics yet?
No.
Is that going to be in the future for you?
I don't know. I'm not really the soloist type.
I could see it though, man. I feel it. When you did the solo thing in the Stevie Ray tune in the beginning,
I got lucky.
I'm like, is this guy doing clinics? So, I don't know. Talk to your boy there. What's the guy's name there at Plainview, the drum center?
Dennis. I had Voodoo Biscuit in for one of his clinics though. We did that.
Well, if Pete LAZOS ever gets in there, I look forward to checking that out, man.
Thank you very much.
Let's put a call in and see if we can make that happen.
I'll get you in free too.
I would certainly welcome that. Pete LAZOS on the kit. Well done, my man. Great
Thank you.
dynamic.
Thank you.
Excellent. Again, another guy that can definitely exchange eights with the best of them, and it's good having you on the stage. Let's do our goodbyes, and then you boys are going to play us out. We're going to start over here on the bass with Tom Flyntz. Tom, thank you so much. Backing vocals and bass. Back there on the kit, of course, we got Pete LAZOS. Pete, thank you again. All the way on the end, stage right, lead guitars, Mr. Michael Flyntz. Thank you so much again, Mike.
Thank you for having me, Mark.
Killer job, my man. Thank you so much. Right over here, the lovely and talented TAMMI Wolf.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Tammy.
Thank you,
Last
Mike.
but certainly not least, of course, we've got Peter Mazzeo. lead vocals and acoustic guitar.
Thank you, Mark. And
Thank
first
you.
of all, I want to commend you for what you've done over at the Children's Hospital. You don't get enough credit for it. And just incidentally, just recently my stuff is on the air over. My original stuff is on the air in the UK. And they saw on Facebook what you put on. So they really did. I know it's about 4 in the morning when it airs here, but they did a wonderful, like, sort of tribute to you. And I just want you to know what you did is really, it's literally what we've been seeing worldwide now.
Remember to check out my live show at 90.1 FM WUSB every Friday morning at Stony Brook Eastern Standard Time, 8 to 10 a.m. WUSB.FM or LIBlues.com. That'll get you all the times you can check out my shows. EKOProductions.com, this studio, the official studio of the Blues Warehouse. Check them out when you can. You got a band or a project musically, you want to get some audio or video in, this is the place to do it, as I think you're going to tell based on what you've seen tonight. So thank you so much for tuning in. We're going to say goodbye and thank you guys one more time. This is Pete Mazzeo and the Hit Squad. Thank you, guys.